I believe that music has an influence, like it pretty much sets the tone for your day. Like the very first thing that you hear in that day, it can really set the tone. And a lot of times, like I like to get dressed to music.
I feel like music affects people in so many different ways. When you're in the car, you like to listen to music. When you're at the gym.
When we're getting ready together, we're about to go out somewhere, we're in the car and we're driving together, we listen to this music and it puts a certain mood and we sing along together. So I think sometimes it brings us closer together because we like this music. But we don't, like, I don't necessarily agree with the ideas, but I can listen to it and like have a fun time with my sister and just enjoy it. But I think it does affect my daily life a lot because I listen to it constantly.
Music specifically, it motivates us. It influences us to do a lot of different things, good things, even bad things.
A lot. It definitely influences like all of society and the culture of our society.
I think that the reason we attach ourselves to music, I think it's pretty inherent. Like it's something that we honestly, like, it's really unconscious. So it's like this subconscious timing that it's like, well, there's things that speak to us vibrationally. And so there's different things on different frequencies.
And certain genres have certain beat patterns and frequencies and certain sound movements and wavelengths, right? That are all matching different biorhythms in our body.
And those things can either accentuate where we already are, or they can just reset us and put us in a different place.
Music has become very simplistic. It doesn't take much. I mean, growing up, you were playing music from bands. Nowadays, it's all drum machines and hooks, simple hooks, like almost lullabies.
There's music that sound either organized or not organized in a way for like sensory intake, like as an art. And then there's a music industry, which is an entire industry built around marketing said art.
Music today is a marketing tool to reach young people. I see it firsthand.
I think that's where the misogyny is both encouraged and sold.
Because I feel like the demographic has changed. I feel like now record labels want to reach a younger audience. And sometimes audiences don't want to think. They don't want things to be complicated.
I think that is very dangerous because without that balance, what are people that are actually growing up with these artists connecting with? If all you're being told or all you're being served is junk food, then where's the real food for thought?
And I think that's something that's really scary to think about, that people I'm going to school with could be the next generation of these people.
The most disturbing thing to me is that I think misogyny has erupted through a range of cultures, a range of popular cultures, a range of public culture.
Because it's not just like one or two songs even, it's like apparel and t-shirts and images and videos, and it's an all-out kind of like attack. It's not just song lyrics. There's whole packages built around those songs becoming a part of your existence.
And I think it's only increasing given the kind of political situation we are in now. And in part it's because the sort of justification we give for that's locker room talk, or that's what boys say, or that's what they do.
You know, like locker room banter.
Oh, that's just boys being boys.
Doesn't ask enough of men to transform themselves, really, or ask enough of women to like actually actively feel strong or powerful enough to refuse these expressions of violence and manipulation and control.
If we didn't have any sort of historical music background in the last 30 years of misogynistic sort of stuff, and all of a sudden somebody started talking about women that way, I doubt we'd be so accepting of it. It's a matter of like small steps have occurred over the last 30, 40 years where it's just become, it's not so bad, and that's not so bad, and it just keeps upping the ante, and all of a sudden we're in this position where it's really extreme.
I think actually pointing out to young men that the mere fact that they're trying to impress other men and not like, you know, it's not about like the sort of building themselves up individually as players, but that part of what they're doing is actually like being locked into this dynamic that's actually, there's a term for it in gender and literary studies called homosociality. It's not homosexuality insofar as it's not, you know, the kind of same-sex desire between men that's sexual, but homosociality is precisely that kind of male fraternal culture that's about, you know, really not about women at all, but about trying to impress one another, being there for one another in particular ways.
We're a society that now is just, it's blatancy now grabs attention.
I think that's because, first of all of the other things have already been said so many times. You have to keep coming up with new things to keep the consumer interested and make new things that they want to listen to. So if that's the pattern that's going on right now, then that's just going to keep happening.
I think that for young people who may not have that longer range knowledge of the histories of misogyny, it becomes their entry point into understanding some of these relations and relationships, and it can be internalized because it is, you know, something that youth culture, it's a format or platform that youth culture is drawn to.
And it's not really a true and honest reflection of how women are in real life.
Yeah, misogynistic music that men put out is meant to make us feel like we can't rise above them.
I would say that they're really afraid of them, so they try to put them down, try to degrade them, and, you know, disrespect them so that they don't, like, end up being more powerful than men are.
They're scared. Men are scared. Men are afraid of the women's power and the women's energy. And if women rise up and are who they are in all their true power and glory, the thing that's so crazy about the men is that they'll rise up right with them, and that men will be stronger too.
I think that what male audiences receive is a particular kind of validation for the forms of power that they want to possess or hold.
Calling women bitches and hoes and stuff like that, that's not a true reflection on how women are in real life.
Queen Latifah famously in the 90s, you know, in the song Unity asked, you know, who are you calling a bitch or a hoe?
To say that like the black community or this community or that community has an issue with misogyny is, yeah, but like where did they get that? Like that's not homegrown. That's something that is introduced through colonialism.
Again, it's sort of what I was describing, the broader culture finds its way into hip hop culture in particular, that same struggle.
When you have an experience that it's over and over and over again, multiple times, the analogy I like to give, it's kind of like when you're walking in the mountains on a really small path that has a lot of bushes around it, and the more you walk on that path, the more clear the path becomes, and it becomes something that's kind of more set in stone in the side of the mountain because everybody walks on that path all the time. So in your brain, when you are having the same memory or the same experience over and over and over again, the path just gets set there, and it's become something that's just kind of routine, and you're not thinking about it too much, and it's something that becomes, that's what you would call being desensitized to something.
You can benefit financially, but are you really benefiting? Are you really raising the next generation to feel those same feelings and to normalize these feelings, normalize these ideas? I don't think anyone wins. I don't think the world becomes better with any of that.
I think that there's an overall benefit to hearing a range of opinions in music and in popular music and in things that raise these conversations. But I mean, in terms of the benefits of producing explicitly violent or misogynistic lyrics, I don't think that there are any benefits to be gleaned from that. Although I do hope that what they incite are debates about these particular issues and topics, and that they get people thinking about, you know, what the sources are for these forms of violence and manipulation that extend beyond popular music.